Martin of Gun Basics Philippines, and welcome to part 3 in this introduction to guns. And now we're going to talk about how a gun works. So, how does a gun work? Where do we start? So, the very first part that we're going to start with is the basic parts of a gun. So, what is that, right? So, when we look at a gun, and I'm going to go through three very basic or common types of firearms that you'll see, at least here in the country, here in the Philippines: the pistol, the rifle, and then the shotgun. So there are different types of guns out there, revolvers, etc., like that. But I'll just stick to the most basic and common ones that we see. So how a gun works: first, let's look at the parts of a gun. And when I share the parts, I'll be sharing with you. Again, let's just do a quick safety check, which I will teach you how to do. So basic parts of a gun, I'll just share with you the functional parts. Again, I won't get too technical, but just the basic parts that we commonly use. So from top to bottom, we have sights. So the sights, this is how we aim at a target. So the front sight, again, very basic. Way I'll describe it is putting the front sight in between the rear sight notch, aligning them. We can get more technical with front sight, focus, all that later on, but this is how we aim the gun. Going lower, this huge thing is called the slide. So the most basic way I'll explain this slide of a handgun, a pistol, is this is how you load, and this is also how you unload the gun. Now, going lower, you might have spotted that. You might say, how come the slide locked open or it stopped? So there's this thing over here, this silver thing. This is like the slide stop, or I'm a 1911 guy. They call that the slide stop lever, but then some people call it the slide release, like here on the Glock. So when the gun locks back over there, so when you pull that down, it's a little hard, but when you do, so I'm going to pull it down, the slide can go forward. Going lower, so there's this small button over here. With this one, this is the magazine release. So this one, you just push it in, and then this thing, the magazine, so this is the ammunition source, it comes out. So in a moment, I'll show you how to load this thing. And then next, there's the trigger over here. So the trigger, again, I'll just do a quick safety check. Nothing in there. Trigger is, the gun doesn't just go bang at once. You actually have to, I'll show you, pull the trigger at a certain length, going back, 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 back. It still hasn't shot until you hear that. So it goes click, or you hear that sound. That's when the gun actually fires. So going lower, so the grip and the magazine. So those are basic parts of a gun. Again, these are the parts that we normally function or interact with. There are more detailed parts, but I'll just stick to the basics that we actually manipulate or use. So when I remove that magazine, that last part down here, how do we load this? So it's important because it leads to the next part of this. After basic parts, how to load the gun. So how to load the gun, I'll be using, keeping things safe in a controlled environment, I'll be using dummy rounds for this. So this one. So this is a dummy round. So we have the magazine over here. So we have the back, the flat part. We have the front. This is the bottom. This is the top. So I'll insert the round so it's back. So this is the nose, the top, the bottom, the butt. So the back, from like the middle part, I push it down and then backward. So there are certain magazines where you can actually just push it straight down. This one is kind of like a, there you go. It's like a push down here from the middle part going down and then back. So you can load for this type of magazine, the Glock 17, you can load up to 17 rounds in this one. There are other magazine types out there. So there's double stack, there's a single stack. It holds 8 rounds for the 1911. There are some that are even extended. They hold like 30 rounds, 33 rounds. So again, this one, I'll just load one for the sake of demonstration. Now that the magazine is loaded, how do we actually load a gun? So here, next step is, when we have the gun, I'm going to do a quick safety check here. Okay. So when I load this gun, I put the magazine in all the way until it clicks in place. And then I pull the slide all the way back and then I let it go. That will chamber the round in, load the gun, meaning it's ready to shoot. So again, I put the magazine in all the way until it clicks, pull the slide back. So here, question for you guys. Let's make this interactive. I put the magazine in, right? There you go. It's in. I'll pull I only loaded one dummy round. I'll pull the slide all the way back. Now it's ready to shoot, right? So trick question, yes or no, it's ready to shoot. So let's check. Martin, it's still there. Okay, because I didn't put the magazine in all the way. So this is actually a very common mistake. Even in more advanced firearms training, when you're doing a quick reload and it doesn't go all the way in. So there are two very loud sounds you're going to hear in your life. One is you thought you loaded the gun, and then when you pull that trigger, nothing happens. Click. That can be fatal if you're trying to defend your life. Now, the other is when you're trying to unload a gun and you don't follow the correct process, and then it goes bang. So that's also equally bad. So let's go through the process one more time. Put the magazine in. Again, there's only one dummy round. You'll see if it loads, this should disappear. Put it all the way in until it clicks. Pull the slide back all the way. Let go. Now is it loaded? Yes or no? Type in the comments below. So let's check. So I'll remove the magazine. There you go. Nothing's in it. There was only one round. It's now in the chamber. So there we go. Is it in there? So for those who could see, that white thing over there, that's the dummy round. So how to unload the gun now? Now, to unload the gun, simple process, since we already loaded the gun. Now let's unload. Unload the gun is remove the magazine first, and then pull the slide back. Oh, it fell. I have to, no. Relax, guys. It's just a round for a 9mm, like factory round. That's 22 pesos. It's not worth bending over and accidentally shooting, right? So let it fall to the ground. Don't worry. It's fine. I will double check. 1, 2. Pull the slide back. Nothing's in there. Then I will set the gun down. So that's how to unload the gun. Now, let's go through the process again. And this is how I'll test if you guys are following. Is the gun really unloaded or not? So remember, we said how to load the gun is I put the magazine in. Then I pull the slide back all the way. It's loaded. Correct, right? Now, how to unload the gun? How do we do it again? Remove the magazine first, pull the slide back. Okay, right. Now, what if someone says, Martin, what if I just pull the slide back? Something will come out, right? Let's try it. Something fell down over here. This thing. Okay. And then I remove the magazine. It's empty. Oh, the gun must be empty. Is it? Let's check. There was something inside here. There was another round. So that would have actually gone bang if you did it that way. So again, just to keep it real simple. So what I did was I actually loaded 2 rounds that time. Because sometimes it could happen. Sometimes you could have a fully loaded magazine there and we get confused, right? So again, to keep things safe, real simple, when the gun is loaded, if we want to unload it, right, there's still something in there, remove the magazine first. You don't want to have any accidents or negligent discharges. Then pull the slide back. Okay, so that thing went out. Just wanted to show you. Now, no need to be fancy. After the round falls out, I'll pull it a second time and maybe even one last just for good measure. I'm checking that it's really safe. Then I can put the gun down. So remember the process again. Unload, magazine out first, pull the slide back, nothing comes out, I'll pull it maybe 1 or 2 more times just to double, triple check, then I put the gun down. Very simple process to unload. Now, bonus, this is a safety check. I call this the chamber check. So what is this? What if I see a gun lying just down? Maybe it was a family member's. I don't know how it works. I'm scared. I'm terrified, like that. How do I even know if it's safe? So one thing to do is, again, following the 4 rules of gun safety, going back, you can watch that video, right? Here's a quick recap. All guns are always loaded. Never point the gun at anyone or anything you do not intend to destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. So when we pick up the gun, and be sure of your target. So safety check, quick tip is, when I pick up the gun, first is I'll familiarize myself with how that gun works. And that takes time. That's why I do this gun class, the introduction to guns. You can also do your own research. If you have your own gun, you want to learn how it works, I highly recommend that while following gun safety. I pick up this gun, Glock 17, just Gen 3, older model. So when I pick it up, I'm following all the rules of gun safety. Treat it like it's loaded. I'm pointing it in a safe direction. My finger is off the trigger. I am sure of my target. So the safety check, or a chamber check I call this, is you can actually just pull the slide slightly back and you can actually see if it's loaded or not in a few seconds. Now, it might take some familiarization, training to reach that point, but as you could see, I could do it in a matter of seconds. What if the gun was like this, right? Loaded, there's a magazine, somebody even chambered around, maybe, put the gun down on the table. I don't know. Now, this is a case wherein I want to know if the gun is safe. So this is a safety check, the chamber check, bonus tip for you guys. When I pick up this gun, 1, 2, 3. You could see that white, the dummy round in there. I don't even have to pull it all the way back. I don't even have to like unload or unchamber the gun. 1, 2, 3. I know that that gun is loaded and it's ready to go. In this case, I know that there's a dummy round in the chamber, so it's actually safe. Now, to end this, how a gun works, part 3. People might say, Martin, you're showing an example of a pistol, a handgun, right? What if, I'm with the military or law enforcement, special forces like that? My gun looks a little different. Well, let's end the video with that. Okay. Maybe your gun looks like this. So it's a rifle. So this is like an AR-15 type. So this is the semi-automatic version, actually, for civilians. So top to bottom, this one also has sights. This one has like a red dot, but normally you have sights, a rear sight and a front sight over there, as you can see. This one going lower, what are the operations? You have a magazine release. Also, you have a magazine. You also have, instead of a slide, the difference of this one is you have this charging handle over here in the back. So I'm going to pull it. So the bolt locks back on an empty mag, just for the Glock. That's why the slide locks back. And then this one has a safety, the switch. So safe. And then fire over there. So very similar than a magazine. So again, you see some parts that are very similar from top to bottom. Sights, a trigger, magazine release. If I load the gun, if I pick it up, can I check? Nothing in there. All right, okay. Martin, last example. What if my gun doesn't look like that? I'm with a security agency. I'm the security guard who protects the bank, right? Then my gun looks a little different. It looks like this. So this is a shotgun. Top to bottom again. How a gun works, very basic. This one has a sight too. This one has a front sight. Even if it doesn't have a rear sight, point and shoot still works. Instead of a charging handle like the rifle earlier, this thing actually has a similar. So this is a forend. So this is called a pump action. Some call it slide action. So again, it goes back and forth. Similar. It's how to load the gun. It's also how to unload the gun. This one has a safety over here. It's this button. If you see a little red over there, it's ready to fire. This one, safety is on. I press it. You see a little color, a little red down there. That means it's ready to fire. This one, the magazine is actually a tube. Down here, this one holds, I think, 4 rounds, 4 shells. And lastly, aside from the trigger, how it shoots, can you also safety check this? There is a way. So this gun, this pump action shotgun, has an action release. So I just press this thing down here. I don't know if you could see it. Down here, there's like a lever. And I'm going to go closer, this thing. So I press this one back. Opens up there. You can even see in the chamber, empty, nothing in it. Safe. So you can learn how the gun operates, whether it's a pistol, a rifle, a shotgun. Familiarize yourself with it. So that's how a gun works, how to load the gun, how to unload the gun, and how to safety check it. So I'll see you on the next part 4. We're going to be talking about why have a gun even in the first place. So I'll see you in the next one.